Welcome back, everybody. Oh, we're here. We're in the fire pit, or are we? Or are we in a much safer place? Maybe we're somewhere here, in the famous wall of just general cool guys, the coolest guy ever. Or maybe hang on, maybe this is more to one's liking. Maybe if I take in the domain of the coolest guy ever. Yeah, there we go. I'm a little Funko Pop. How's that? Does that resonate a little bit better with his audience? I don't know. We'll find out. Welcome everybody tonight to Cringefest. We're cracking one open for the boys, the Butter Boys. Fuck yeah! Welcome back, everybody. It's a whole new crew. It's a whole new night. Let's get some fucking music going. Let's get some chill beats. Get some chill beats to mock centrists too. Because tonight, oh, what a fucking night have we got? We've got Monkey Think, welcome back. We got some chilled electronic beats too. Evening. One thing I highly suggest, if you are going to do what I'm doing, please subscribe. There's one thing that I gotta say, that you know, if you're doing what I'm doing, the main thing is that you subscribe, because everything we just showed you in the opening, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. With you subscribing, it means you're dedicated to this channel. It means I'm gonna bring you great content. The main thing is that we're here. We're here in front of this wall. You know what this wall means. You know what horrible mediocrities are about to occur. I will say that the reason that we are doing this tonight is that look, I'll be honest. Centrist, they shitted and farted. That's exactly it. They're here for. Oh, I hope this wouldn't have lyrics. Sorry, we're gonna go to something with lyrics. I do want to let people know our life. We're happy that you're here. You can enjoy this. But the main reason is, look, I'll be 100% honest. I still follow Friendly Jordies. Not on Twitter anymore, because I usually just hear shit about him on Twitter. But I mainly obviously hear about the fact that on Facebook, you know, he's got a big following. It has stagnated, but I will say he's got a big following. He's got a bigger following than I do. And earlier this week, wrong thing. There we go. Look, I think Friendly Jordies for a time being served a great purpose when there wasn't a lot of leftist content on, not necessarily just on YouTube, but in terms of an Australian context. And over time, he has been, I would say, radicalized by, I would say, poor journalism over time. I think that it's not entirely his fault. I think that he may be listening to too many different sources to make it a little bit. You know about Dragon Ball or Deadpool? I know a funny thing. That's Monkey Think. I'm aware of both, and I think I know exactly. Sorry, I have an idea of what you might want to send me. But tonight we are talking about just Cringefest, just a lot of cringe stuff. The main thing was sorry. Wait, oh, he deleted it. Now here it is. Yeah, that's not the most relevant. But yeah, Friendly Jordies put a post up that was essentially about Mr. Butterfield. And it was specifically about the fact that, you know, he had released a new video, The Death of Free Speech. I haven't watched the video in full. I watched the first 30 seconds of it, and I was like, oh, this is going to be some good shit. This is some top quality cringe. For those of us who are subscribed, you got that cringe button ready to go. You got it ready to motherfucking go, and it looks a little something like this. It pops up. There we go. Cringe button there. Also, I dropped the price for if you want to throw some extra cringe as a sound alert. I'm making sure that it is working this evening, both as a sound alert and as a bit trigger. It's going to come up 49 bits. I promise you that. That's definitely going to happen. Well, this is working with. That's all right. Damn. Thank you, Grass. What I was laughing at, which I will zoom in a little bit so you all can see it a little bit, is I try not to respond to shit on Facebook anymore, because it has gotten me into trouble in the past, to the point where and I did show this last time on Facebook. I am using my real Facebook. I mean, I'm not a public figure, but I am, you know, myself. on the internet most of the time. But there used to be an Isaac Butterfield supporters group, which has now collapsed. It was basically working up until yep. We gotta give it up for the troops who served in the culture war here. It was working up until January this year, and then it collapsed. And then people went their separate ways. There are multiple Isaac Butterfield groups now. But basically because Friendly Jordies and the Buttsman, as he's called, sort of engage in the same kind of culture war bullshit. It was great just seeing the death of free speech, says the man whose comedy routine seems to be ragging on feminist activists. Like, yeah, it's great. Oh yeah. This is maybe turn off some in light. I will turn off some, but I wanna let people just in this little opening bit before we meet some of the alerts, still enjoy some of the cringe that's happening. And look, I think hey, we're going into this pretty much blind, okay? We could the intellectual content and comprehension of the bills discussed in this video has about much maturity as a self-congratulatory junker backdrop. Hell yeah! Oh, you talking about this? Oh, this beautiful wall here. This incredible wall here. How can you not love this wall? How can you not enjoy this wall? This hat that says moist. This weird image of a greyhound of some kind. Pickle Rick. Oh man, Red, you're gonna get into some cringe, a little bit of political cringe, and then we're gonna go into some old school cringe that we will be going deep into. Nothing says, oh boy, I love myself like a Funko Pop version. Well, again, I feel like maybe I should make this like a bit trigger thing where if for like 100 bits, I'll be a Funko Pop for an hour. There you go. There's Funko Pop. Harrison. What's up, everybody? I'm collectible. I'm worth something. Oh, what's going on? Anyway, but for now, we'll kick it old school. By making me. Anyway, let's get into this fucking video because I've wasted enough. As it is. Oh man. We also have an old video of his, which was the inspiration for my video about political correctness some time ago. And honestly, it's just as bad. It's just as bad as. But anyway, let's get into it. It's 11 minutes. We'll pause where we need to. Start.
Motherfuckers, the Buttsman here, and I genuinely believe the greatest asset that we have as human beings.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to say. I highly suggest. Perfect timing, Monk. Perfect timing. I highly suggest that if you do want to look up Isaac Butterfield's content, for all that is good, use a VPN, an ad blocker, or simply use some kind of incognito window, because it will fuck up your algorithm real bad. I will crank it up a little bit more. Have it quiet. All right.
Our ability to speak freely, the freedom to think, speak, and offend. It's
nothing says free speech like a Shure 101 microphone, like the most basic bitch motherfucking microphone.
Something we all take for granted on a daily basis. And ladies and gentlemen, you better
I love that the man trying to defend free speech has a fuck cyclists shirt, but the U is a little star. I love getting my tips and tricks from this bloke.
Buddy, believe it when I say this, we are losing that right, and we are losing it at a rapid rate. Now, whenever you talk about freedom of speech in Australia, you always have one fucking loser in the comment section going, oh no, Australia doesn't have any freedom of speech in our constitution, so why are you talking about it?
He is correct. There is nothing in the Australian constitution that warrants that we have freedom. It's an illusion of freedom. I'm not saying that that's a good thing. He is correct about that.
Now, not only is that a weak argument.
Not a weak argument, it's a fact. The facts, my bro. I thought we were talking about facts, not feelings.
It's true, but it's a weak argument. Because sure, we may not have it written in our constitution just like the United States does, but we fucking should. I've spoken.
I love that. Nothing says we should have a law like somebody just saying we should. I love it.
A lot about freedom of speech on this channel.
Yes, Pixie, we're back. We're back again. Oh yeah. Oh, I love it when he points to his own content, being like, "Hey man, yeah, you've talked about this a bunch. You talk about this constantly, dude."
Over the past few years.
Past 2 years, since it's been relevant, since the YouTube algorithm picking it up off a plate and nibbling on it like it's a fucking chicken.
The fact that we don't have it protected here in Australia is fucking disgusting and disgraceful, and it should be rectified immediately. But that's not going to happen. In fact, the exact opposite is happening. Our constitution does not save us from a tyrannical government disposing of our rights willy-nilly. We have...
Feels like he was improving at the end there. This motherfucker writing willy-nilly into a script? That's kind of funny. That's the first funny thing he may have ever written.
Some protections, namely the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, which, hey, I know nothing about, but have a look at Article 19. It says everyone shall have the right to hold opinions without interference.
Yeah, motherfucker. Oh, man. What are we, 127 into this? This is the shit that boggles my mind about both Isaac and just people, and like Pixie said previously about Australians masquerading as an American patriot. That is basically what it is, essentially. You having an opinion, i.e., the ability to express yourself freely, should exist. Hands down. It should be a general law, right? And by that, I truly mean in your existence. Your existence out there in the world. If I turn off this microphone, if I turn off this camera, if I am not broadcasting it, which is a whole set of different laws and instructions, which I'm not saying is a good thing, I'm just making it a specific point, that if we are looking at this specific law, or just general laws around free speech and human rights, people do have free speech in the majority of Western democracy. It's just that the laws are different when you broadcast yourself. If you're creating content, if you're creating something that is meant to be shared, intention or at least derivative works are going to be produced for different mediums. There are rules, motherfucker. Yes, you can produce stuff on your own. Yes, you can independently create stuff. Mainly because you don't live in a dictatorship, dude. You have multiple comedy specials. You have several hundred fucking YouTube videos. Why are you worried of all the people, of all of the whitest, tallest, dumbest motherfuckers? Why are you worried? Why are you scared? Why are you talking about this? And I know he's going to get into it, but what he's bringing up, this Article 19 stuff, in terms of the law from '66 there. Yes, people have the right to hold opinions without interference. But if you're broadcasting them or you're putting them on a channel, specifically a corporation, which is a bigger problem, the fact that we only have the means of communications through large corporations, whether it's Blue Yeti or whether it's Google or Alphabet, whether it's through Razer, you know, the people who make the shit that you produce, that's the problem. The corporatization and the capitalization, or in your case, the exploitation of people's free speech, that is the motherfucking problem. The fact that you need to spend a fuck ton of money for that to happen is a problem. If in terms of it being broadcast and it being like, you know, an opinion that should be shared. That's the bigger problem. That's the thing that you should be fighting. But I know you're someone who hates communism. That's not that.
Just have a quick think over the last 18 or so months. Has that been upheld? Number two, everyone shall have the right to freedom of expression. We may have that protecting us somewhat, but even the Americans who have the freedom of speech as their defining
damn right, that is some cold shit. That is
characteristic as a
God
country.
Damn.
don't really have it. They have laws in place that when bent a certain way will remove you from public discourse. Now is that...
Okay, wait, what the fuck is, hang on, hold on. 30 years freedom, what the fuck is this website?
As a country, don't really have it. They have laws in place.
What the fuck is this website? 30 years Freedom Forum. What is freedomforum.org? I have a feeling it's not going to be a right-wing website. I'm just curious about who is the Freedom Forum. About the organization, First Amendment, Vanderbilt. Oh, the Johns Hopkins University. Only been around since 1991. Kind of the Garnett Foundation, charitable. Neurath. Who was Neurath? Al Neurath. Guy created the USA Today. Okay, well this is, Financial losses of the Freedom Fund and Newsom led to criticism of high salaries and some unusual prospects. The Freedom Forum faced criticism for awarding a free expression award to the CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki. YouTube is a part of the Freedom Forum corporate membership group. Okay, I wouldn't trust the creator of the USA Today, but that's fine. That's whatever. That's a personal opinion. That's a personal opinion.
That when bent a certain way will remove you from public...
Yeah, a new conservative majority of the US Supreme Court seems likely to heed Alito's call to revisit both new and long-standing First Amendment, particularly on religion and speech. I thought... Okay, I mean, fuck religion. Like, just in general, like, most people who want this to happen, usually not atheists, usually hardcore Christian, usually not Muslim, usually not Hindu, usually not Buddhist, usually pieces of shit. I had to fucking talk, I don't know how personal I want to get into this, but I've got family members who are like anti-vax and staunchly right-wing, right? To the point where I've had to like, just simmer them down a little bit on Facebook. And I don't like doing it. I don't fucking like doing it. They're family. Right? But they get to a point where it's like, hey, if at any point in the future you're at a barbecue, I'm at a barbecue, I ain't going to that barbecue. Fuck you. And I don't want to have to fucking deal with your fucking anti-vax bullshit. They were sharing this bullshit around where it's like, don't forget to make sure that you label Christian. Because 6 million Muslims this year are gonna mark Muslim. Yeah, it's a census. But also, there's not 6 million Muslims in fucking Australia. There's just not. It's not a thing. There's less than 3%. Less than 3% of our 26 million person population. And you want to tell me there's too many Muslims writing down that they're Muslim. Fuck you. Fuck off. Like, just, it was some bull. I hate it. I hate it so much. I think there should be freedom of speech for religion and shit, right? There shouldn't be hate speech in general. Talking Nazi shit. Talking people throwing out some anti-Semitic shit that has nothing to do with the way Israel treats Palestine. Talking about some fucked up shit, right? It's never freedom of speech. I don't give a fuck about anti-vaxxers. I don't give a fuck about Nazis. I don't give a fuck about pieces of shit on the internet who are trying to manipulate and treat other people like pawns to spread their fucking message. Specifically, the family that owns motherfucking USA Today. I don't give a fuck about those people. Fuck those people. They don't give a fuck about free speech. They give a fuck about having a fucking hand at the table when somebody wants to censor a newspaper and they're like, excuse me, I own USA Today. Could you not censor me? And also, I run USA Today, so I have a bunch of fucking money, so I'll just print whatever the fuck I want. Specifically, some bullshit about, COVID-19 not being that big a deal. Whatever.
Discourse. Now, is that an issue when it comes to freedom of speech? You better fucking believe it.
But not in Australia, dude. Not in Australia. This thing here, this Freedom Forum bullshit, this First Amendment bullshit, first of all, not going to happen. Samuel Alito has a long history of bringing First Amendment shit up constantly. Also, Second Amendment shit up. Wants to have stronger gun laws. Specifically, as in, he wants to make sure that more people can have guns. Right? It's on the Supreme Court. I'd be more fucking worried about Kavanaugh And I'd be more worried about the shit that's going down in fucking Georgia in regards to abortion rights than fucking First Amendment shit, right? This has basically nothing to do with Australia.
That when bent a certain way will remove you from public discourse. Now,
what does that mean? Remove from, like, are you gonna get fucking put into the capsules from, like, fucking Minority Report? What does that mean, removed from public discourse? Oh my god, my YouTube channel's gonna go away. Oh, I'm not gonna have a Twitter account. Yeah, dude, they're fucking corporations. Oh, I'm not gonna have a Twitch account. Yeah, they have rules and services. That's why this TOS shit. That's why I'm not playing the fucking Fight Club soundtrack right now into your ears. I'm playing... Give me a second. Still Life by Idealism. Check out the album Sit in Silence on Bandcamp. It's actually real chill. I like this.
Now, is that an issue when it comes to freedom of speech? You better fucking believe it is.
Yeah. It is an issue because the concept of the First Amendment is so broad. It's very broad. It's not perfect, and that's probably why we don't have one in Australia, because, you know, nobody's perfect.
If you don't play ball, if you don't
Red, you are killing it tonight. You're going funnier than I am.
fit the status quo, then you are seen as trouble and you're fucking removed immediately.
You are the most status quo. You're a status quo warrior, dude. You're an SQW. That is exactly what you are. There is so much shit that you have done and said in the last fucking 2, 3, I don't know how long you've been around, that makes you the status quo. And I'm not talking about the bullshit that, like, oh, he's a white guy and blah, 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 all that bullshit. I'm talking about shit that, in terms of general Australia, in general politics, in the general populace, they agree with you. It's why you have so many views. You are a populist through and through. You are somebody who makes these generalizations, who whips people up into fear and uncertainty and just general disdain because you know it gets clicks. Because you know that when you title a video, The Slow Death of Free Speech, it's going to get a bunch of views and get dumbasses like me, or who look like me rather, to click on it and be like, well, I do want to say the N-word at some point in my life. So, bro, yeah, it's probably a bad idea.
So if Australia doesn't have freedom of speech, and America doesn't really have freedom of speech, I'll tell you one country who definitely doesn't fucking have it, and that's Scotland. Their hate crime bill, it is put in place to charge people if they, and I quote, stir up hatred.
Yeah, dude. That's what hate crime bills do. Don't do a hate crime. Don't be openly racist. Don't be transphobic. Just don't be a cunt. You have be a good motherfucker on the wall, man. Why is it so hard? But like you've said so much like stuff that I know you don't believe or care about. And I guess it's for money and for fame, and that's fine. People have done way worse things for way less. But come on, man. When you're saying, all right, let's hear him out on why this hate crime bill is so bad.
Which, you know, sounds quite fair. But if you look at the bill for more than 3 bloody seconds, you'll realise that it's fair in some circumstances.
Yeah, because it would have to be. As in, the majority of people, I would say the majority of Scotland, majority of anybody who could read it, would have to agree to it. Instead of just some fucked up nonsense in which you just get the final say on everything. But let's hear why he doesn't like this hate crime bill.
But it affects a lot of other people quite negatively immediately. Under these plans, behaviour or communication that was threatened.
Okay, let's check his source again. Prospect? Check prospect. Prospect. Journalism? Journalism? Prospect. Prospect UK? What are we looking at here? What does Prospect cover? How fuck, this is from months ago, dude. Scotland's how Scotland's hate crime bill. Check these motherfuckers' sources. Where is this? What is Prospect? Prospect magazine. Prospect magazine. But we got some facts about Prospect. Here we go. Been around since 1995. Okay, alright. Worldwide attention. Included Noam Chomsky, Umberto Eco, Dawkins, Steve Pinker, Chris Hitchens. Some cunts in there, but not too bad. Oh, Think Tank Awards. Probably not great. Oh, Jesus Christ. Since 2004, the magazine's founding editor, David Goodhart, has stirred controversy with a series of articles increasingly about the diversity of the United Kingdom being weak in the bonds of solidarity, which the welfare state depends. The debate fed into the... Oh, God. Okay. 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 I'm willing to say this is a legitimate source, but, I mean, maybe a little bit nationalistic. The claims came thick and fast. J.K. Rowling would end up in jail. Comedians would be forced to clam up. Plays could be shut down, and libraries could be prosecuted. Libraries could be prosecuted for having books on the shelves. Veteran journalist Kevin McKenna deemed the plans deranged. Okay. Justice Secretary. Okay.
Threatening, abusive. All sounds.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's more of an explainer than an op-ed.
Great so far. In the case of Rachel Hatred, insulting.
Rachel, you know Rachel Hatred.
Or communication that was threatening, abusive. All sounds great so far. In the case of Rachel Hatred...
Love Rachel Hatred. Can we get shout-outs for Rachel Hatred up in there? R-A-C-H-E-L H-A-T-R-E dead.
Insulting and stirs up hatred against a protected group, which would constitute a hate crime. It sounds great, in theory, but insulting? That's a key word there, insulting.
Yeah, insulting isn't the specific language used in the hate crime bill. It's used in the article. That's someone explaining that. What the like? How do you think journalists work? Do you think it's just copy paste the entire? I feel like you didn't read the hate crime bill. I feel like you just read this single article because you just typed hate crime bill. Let's see. Hey, let's type in Scotland hate crime bill into Google. Alright, okay. Alright. Also, it did get passed. Scotland hate crime bill set to pass despite row over exclusions of women. Okay, hang on, wait, is that what this is going to be about?
Things that would offend you are different to things that will offend me, and much different to things that would offend other people. And that's a dangerous path to head down. This is a fight. And it's a massive fight. It's a war.
See, now, this is, if I was Butterboy here, and I was being real turfy, this is the shit I would have talked about. This would have been the smart/dumb thing to do. Yeah, this is like, I really think where it's like, yeah, final vote due on Thursday after move to add sex to list of protected characteristics is turned down. So, based on the hate crime bill, based on what was passed, not what was proposed in February, based on the article, based on the hate crime bill that he showed at the start, which I'm pretty sure is dated. Well, it's not, but I imagine that this... Currently, sex and gender is not included as part of the hate crime legislation. Right. This would have been the updated version, but it would have been before the February one.
That's a key word there.
Okay.
Insulting. Things that would offend you are different to things that will offend me, and much different to things that would offend other people.
Yes. However, you accounting comedy as a form of offense. Comedy doesn't necessarily have to be that. Red, you are going harder than I'm ever going after this man.
And that's a dangerous path to head down. This is a fight, and it's a massive fight. It's a war. It's a war against imaginary sounds that we make with our mouths that...
But it's a war in general about an enemy that you've made up. Like, I just... Like, he's so... And again, I genuinely believe that Mr. Butterfield doesn't believe half the shit that he says. I genuinely believe that. So attacked and apparently me and 99 other people. I don't know who. Fantastic. I'm gonna delete that. This video. Yeah, you're creating imaginary enemies.
that could somehow, for some reason, land someone in jail. There are even ideas out there, ideas or concepts that people hold, even if it's...
Explain them. Explain. Because when people like Butterfield talk about these ideas or these concepts or these imaginary scenarios in which we have to be worried about, they never give examples. Like, there are clear examples in my head right now that fuck it. I mean, even if it violates TOS, I'll talk about Ted Kaczynski, eco-fascists, the general concept of whether or not 9/11 was good for the United States. There are so many specific people and things that are general, as in base claims, that could be dangerous ideas, that could get me in trouble. Whether or not abortion is a good thing, whether or not men should have discussions about abortion, whether or not writing music about abortion is a great thing. There is so much bullshit that he spouts that and I get this could, which I think is so funny. I think he intentionally doesn't say because it could demonetize him. In the same way that he has shirts that say "fuck cyclists" on it, where I'm fucking, I don't give a shit. I don't give a motherfucking shit. I'm gonna fucking wear this. This is peace among worlds, motherfucker. Also, I did laundry today, and this was the only clean shirt I had. But the main thing is, like, I don't give a fuck, man. Fuck Israel. Fuck Ted Kaczynski. Fuck you, man. That's freedom of speech, man. Anyway.
It's most people. If that doesn't run in line with the beliefs, the thoughts, and the fucking political agenda...
Hey, you have to have a high IQ to understand this shit.
And the ideologues that for some reason run the social medias and all that type of shit.
Okay. It's good that he's used a big word, ideologues. I don't think Mr. Butterfield understands that in terms of the people who run social media accounts, they act left-leaning, but I can tell you, up here, it's libertarian all the way. Have you seen what Mark Zuckerberg does with his money? Have you seen how Jack Dorsey tweets? I fucking replied to this because I was like, hey, Jack, maybe fucking deal with your Nazi problem on your account. This motherfucker today had the motherfucking goal, and this is, I'm gonna do my Jack
Dorsey voice, and this is unlikely and maybe against the creative process, but it would be incredible if Kanye West put out Donda as it is now and continue to update it until he feels it's finished, so we can all witness the work evolve in real time.
Hey, Jack. Hey, Jack? Jack, just a fucking idea. Just a fucking idea, man. Get rid of the Nazis off your platform, and maybe all of the anti-COVID people. Maybe worry a little, yet less, about Kanye West right now. I love Donda. I love listening to the 2 listening parties that I have listened to 4 times this weekend and have cried over. I give a fuck about Donda. I also give a fuck about Kanye West's mental health, man. But right now, you're the fucking CEO of Twitter. Fix Twitter, you fucking idiot. I know you got rid of fleets, and it was a bad choice. But motherfucker, you got some other shit you gotta deal with, okay? Maybe don't worry about Kanye West right now. Piece of shit. When he speaks about the ideologues, I imagine it's the one he's made up in his head. I genuinely think that he thinks that all the people who run social media are left-leaning. When I think most of them are libertarians, which to some degree can be considered left-leaning, but they're usually centrist. At the end of the day, most libertarians I know, in the way that they describe what they do and who they are, they tend to be centrist. And when shit goes down, they'll lean a little bit to the right because it serves them well. It serves them well financially. It serves them well. It serves them well from a societal and a political basis. The more like fuck big government the right is, the more libertarians are like, yeah, keep it up, buddy, keep it up. Just how it is. And knowing how Jack Dorsey lives his life, that dude's definitely a fucking libertarian.
Then you will be banned, shut up, and your freedom of speech will be squashed. Which is why when I saw my mate Friendly Geordies, an Australian YouTuber, comedian and political commentator, make a video about freedom of speech, I really paid attention. If you didn't know, Friendly Geordies right now is being sued by a bloke called Bruz, or John Barilaro, the second in charge of the biggest state in Australia, New South Wales. Yes, he's spending his time when he should be running a fucking state that's currently in the middle of a pandemic, he's spending his time suing someone because they made fun of him. Boo fucking who, Bruz?
That is part of. I will say that everything that Mr. Butterfield said just then is true. There are other things that are in the case that have not come out publicly. That is about the Bruz Barilaro case. Some of which I don't think is true, and is also why, and I think also unnecessarily so, why one of Jordan's team was taken by the Fixated Persons Unit. I think that is an overreach of political power. Whether or not it has anything to do with free speech, I would say it's like a 50-50 kind of thing. In that what Mr. Shanks and his team had done was, to some degree, and again, not defending Barilaro or the New South Wales government or anybody who was against Mr. Shanks, it was provocative. It was provocative in a way that it provoked a reaction. And that Mr. Barilaro has gone about it in a way that is technically, legally allowed. However, it has not been considered, no, that's correct. It has not been considered a free speech case. At no point, other than from Shank's side and his lawyers, Michael West Media, and obviously Butterboy here, has it been sanctioned that it's about free speech. It is about the fact that there is a different set of rules, unfortunately, for people of power or people who hold political power, and whether or not they feel attacked. It's not a defamation case, as far as I'm aware. I could be wrong about that. I could be definitely wrong about that.
You fucking suck. Anyway, Geordie's posted a video about...
I also don't think Barilaro really cares about YouTubers making comments about it. I think he more cares about the fact that they called out the corruption, and that in itself could affect it. But the problem is because of Jordan's past, in the way that he has treated the media is not on his side, which I think is an upset. That rather than focusing on what the real story should be, the real story is that Jordan uncovered a massive amount of corruption in several regional seats that the Nats either hold or have power over, and that in itself is such a problem. That should be the focus. That is where Butterboy here could help spread the message. But instead, the focus is on free speech. And it kind of sucks. It's why I suggest people read more. Michael West and is a great example of that. Even if he's a big fan of Geordie's and vice versa. But there are other programs such as Media Watch, and there's a few YouTubers that I highly suggest people get into, which I'll talk about at the end, as well as streamers like Really Online Left, who are fantastic. And amazing podcast which we streamed over the weekend. Not Good Enough Pod. Definitely check out Not Good Enough Pod. They're a fantastic wrap-up for everything that's involved on a weekly basis. And they are astoundingly funny. The last 2 weeks while we've been in lockdown has been incredibly helpful hearing their perspective on a lot of stuff that's happening. There's definitely boots that he has filleted. Anyway, you keep going.
Freedom of speech, particularly about something called the News Media Bargaining Code. Now, I covered this in a video, so did a lot of other people. He also went on to talk about how that News Media Bargaining Code went on to affect other things. If you don't know anything about the News Media Bargaining Code, it's basically all the old school media publications, the papers, all that type of shit, carrying on and whinging because people like me have more reach than them.
That's an oversimplification for it. It was more about the fact that they weren't getting paid for the clicks and views and the pieces of content that certain social media and tech companies have that are sort of facilitating, or at least helping share and broadcast that media. They're upset about the fact that those outlets, specifically Facebook, and specifically Google News, while they're helping get out coverage, they are not producing their own content. They are using the content from these news sources. And they feel that they should get paid for that because at the end of the day, Google gets paid for that. It's not about reach. It's not just about reach. That's you just jerking yourself off, being like, check out all the views I've got. You don't really do news, buddy. This isn't, at no point would I have called anything that you've presented. I would say that less than 5% of your content is factual, in the same way that, a whole bowl of fucking Wheat Bix, doesn't exactly have the best nutritional value if you pour a bunch of fucking sugar on it. I think that there's, a reason why news media has been dying, especially the last 4 years under multiple global conservative governments. I think this is also another fucked up thing, is that this motherfucker doesn't realize that in most Western democracies, we've had largely conservative governments in power who have been, honestly, just completely fucking up to the point where journalists are exhausted from all of the lies, of all of the politicians, of all of the bullshit that they've had to deal with. And now on top of that, they have to fight internationally renowned disinformation campaign, which you are not helping. But that's fine. That's totally fine.
And the news media is dying. They're dying because they're not making enough money, and they're not...
Sick meme, dude. Sick meme from 3 years ago. Love that shit. Love an old meme. Love an old meme. Big fan of old memes. Can we get... Oh, man. If you love an old meme in the chat, can you do this? How fucking sick is that? Where you fucking love that. Old memes. Yeah. Fucking German's family, bitch. Alright.
Not making enough money to pay for these giant office blocks and run...
Also, to clarify, I'm very largely against the Murdoch Mania and anything Gina Reinhardt owns. Just bad people. There are a lot of issues in regards to monopolies and news in this country, but complaining about it, like this, is not helpful. There should be stricter guidelines and laws in place with what journalism actually is. When most of the stuff that gets clicks and most of the stuff that gets shared from a digital perspective is not journalism, they're fucking op-eds, they're fucking dipshits misreading and misinterpreting, stats and figures. Not journalism.
Rather than, making their product a bit better and changing it from the only people who read newspapers these days are old fucks to check the obituaries to make sure all their friends aren't fucking dead.
I mean, that's also an extreme simplification why old people read media. They're stalwarts. They're the same fuckheads who watch your content and the same fuckheads that are upset that Sky News is no longer on YouTube. It's their only news source. Like, that's the news source that they trust because it agrees with them. In the same way that your audience, largely, and I've seen this happen, that's why I followed that Facebook group ages ago. They love your shit. They eat that shit up like it's motherfucking breakfast. You're the top of their pyramid, man. Sorry, no, you're the bottom of their food pyramid, man. You're fucking wheat and fucking eggs and you got all of that in there, man. You're not the chocolate shit. You're not the fucking little bit at the top. You're not fucking The Guardian or fucking the Saturday morning paper or Michael West. He's grains. He's fucking grains, dude. You're the grains with them. You're a part of the same symbiotic relationship, man. If this was Minecraft, you're in the same fucking biome. Man, if they're the goddamn fucking villagers, you're a cat hanging around, man. You're just a cat. You're a jungle cat. You can be tamed, man. If Sky News tomorrow offered you $1 million to fucking have your own weekly show where you get to do this in front of a fucking professional crew, no audience, fucking same setup, little dipshit IKEA shelf in the back with all your little props and shit, you fucking take it.
They
guarantee you take it.
Actually just whinge and bitch and moan to Google and basically said, and I may be paraphrasing, please give us more money, please. But it goes further than that. You see, the same politician that is suing Friendly Geordies is also suing Google. And
he's suing Google because he doesn't understand YouTube. the reason he's suing Google is because, and this comes back to my fucking point about broadcasting and platforms and free speech, is that because Friendly Jordies, as a company, as entertainment, comedy, news, whatever the fuck you want to call it, as an entity, exists in its, not its sole basis, but the majority of distribution and their views exists on a Google platform. It, in the dumbest way possible, makes sense. Oh, we just said defamation there? Yeah, Google for defamation. Thank you. Thank you, Bruno Clan. So it is a defamation case. Sorry, I apologize for that. Yeah, that's also, I believe, from the formatting there, that's an ABC News. Oh, sorry. One in the wrong one. That's an ABC News article. But again, I want to make the point about the fact that Barilaro, and like all politicians, are not fucking idiots. They may act like idiots, they may forget things, and they may, I don't recall any of that bullshit, but they're strategists, or at least they have strategists. They know that they can lie and cheat and steal and fuck everybody over, including you, to just get that little bit more power. That's all it is. There are no heroes here. That is exactly right, Pixie. Google are not heroes. Facebook are not heroes. The conglomerates that have come together to put forward this bill are not heroes in general. So many different times when these companies could have, a lot earlier on, to be honest, pivoted towards digital media and video in a way that was financially sound and could sort of help out ultimately their readership and sort of retaining the good writers and the good journalists. There's a whole great documentary called Page One, story of the New York Times, where they talk about this transition and how it's actually helped them. It's still one of the few newspapers who actually still do incredible journalism. They fuck up every now and then, but all media outlets do. And that's not to forgive them for their sins. You know, they're one of the fucking outlets that also supported the Iraq War. I'm not going to get into it. Thing is, being a journalist is a hard job, right? And when you get rid of editors, when you get rid of people who are genuinely there to help at the end of the day, researchers, people who are on the clock basically 24 fucking hours a day, try and make sure that you get an objective view of the news, that's where that's where there are problems. I'm not saying that what Mr. Butterfield is talking about here is not a real problem. The journalist, for the everyday consumer, for the everyday YouTube schmuck, for the everyday commentator, you're fine. No one gives a fuck about it. Sure, Daily Mail, News Corp, some fuckheads might write some bullshit article about you, but at the end of the day, you were a pawn in their game, and they just moved you to the middle of the board to make sure that you could get taken out by a bishop on the fucking head. That's all they care. And it's the same thing that's unfortunately happening here with Jordies. Jordies is a sacrificial lamb. Barilaro will either win the case, which I hope he doesn't. He'll either win the case, and hopefully not, Jordies will have to pay up. Again, not a lawyer. Have no practice history or anything in terms of law. But if Jordies wins, also nobody's going to give a fuck at the end of it. This is not a power struggle for Barilaro. In his head, he's already won because he's caused enough problems for Shanks and his friends.
If they are found guilty, then Google, who owns YouTube, will become a place where people not just put videos up and, have their opinions out there. They will be known particularly...
The fuck is that video? Who's Totism?
Particularly in Australia.
Jesus Christ, Red!
As a publisher, just like a newspaper. And then they are responsible for every single thing that every single person posts on their website. Which means
you would be responsible for the shit that you fucking talk. Is that what you're afraid of? Is that why you're worried, Isaac? That you could be made responsible for the things that you talk about on YouTube? Is that That could be it. That could be the. Nah, that's not a problem.
Will YouTube sit back and go, you know what, did Isaac say the right things today? Yes. Did Friendly Geordie say the right things today? Yes. Did Lewis Spears? Did Neil Cole-Hatkard? Did fucking Frenchie? And they'll basically go, you know what, Australia can fuck off, no more YouTube. But that's not where it stopped.
Yeah, but we have like... I mean... Good that everyone cares about him and his mate. Whatever.
There was also the online safety bill. Now, the online safety bill was put in for some good reasons. It was passed into Australian law to help people who are getting abused online or having their nude shared around or being attacked, raped.
Okay, hold on a second. So you're against people who might be insulted, but the whole concept of, oh, what if people are abused online is just kind of like skimmed over. So you think, again, it's the wording. It's down to the single words he cares about. It's just so fucking cooked. It's absolutely cooked where he'll just pick and choose. He's just like every conservative commentator.
Racially, whatever. And that's obviously...
Wait, no, let's go back.
...online or having their nude shared around or being attacked racially, whatever.
Okay, so he cares about when people are racist, I guess, despite the fact that he specifically made a joke about Muslims who were killed during the mosque attack about 2 years ago by an Australian. Fine, buddy. I'm sure you give 2 fucks about that. That's totally fine. Let's not worry about that. But the thing is like, I feel like the difference between the hate bill and this online safety bill is that you may have read more of one than the other. Like,
and that's obviously a good thing. We want people to be safe on the internet, no doubt. But when you, like with any of these things, when you do a deep dive into the bill, like my friend Neil Cole-Hatkard did on his channel. Now, if you want to check out Neil's channel,
not really. Neil's is as centrist as they come. He was on Dave Rubin's podcast a couple of years ago, and he could barely talk about like any time that he's actually been censored in terms of doing content.
He actually made a video, and he even read the entire 200-page document, which outworked me by 199.9 pages, so well done to you, Neil. You're fucking killing it. But the main issue here, in layman's terms, is there is one person in control.
I like that I didn't call him a nerd. I would have called him a fucking nerd instantly.
The E-Safety Commissioner, and she decides what's safe and not safe for you. It could be argued...
Hold on a second. No, it doesn't. It's for children and adults. It's for you. Well, I guess some of his audience would be children. It's specifically about cyberbullying and cyber abuse, right? Which is, at the top you said, is fine. So what issues do you really have, Isaac?
The commissioner, and she decides what's safe and not safe.
Also to clarify, I don't really support this bill either. And there was a few tweets. Actually, I'll bring that up. There's a few tweets that I saw earlier this week that were safety commissioner that yeah, here it is. Here's some, here's some fucking, you want some fucking gold? You don't have to dig that far down because, yeah. So, there was a back and forth between, Julie Grant, who is Australia's Safety Commissioner. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here. She was basically, yeah, have you reported him to Twitter safety, through the reporting queue and blocked and muted him? She's there to help people who, are on Twitter and basically getting abused to some degree. Unfortunately, Melissa D has made a point about the fact that she's tagging in the former Prime Minister, the fact that, like, just supporting an anti-vaxxer, just straight up being like, hey, and I've seen Melissa D's bullshit before. Like, she's just been like, I don't like toxic comments and people who are haters and shit, but also, I'm not going to get vaccinated. You can get fucked. Fuck all of you. COVID's not real. Like, it's just, it's dangerous to have one person in charge of that. And maybe that isn't 100% the case. Maybe they'll include some more people down the track. But so far, seems to be just Julie kind of by herself there. Again, no heroes. No heroes in the story.
For you. It could be argued that you could say something in the internet that could land you in court that isn't really that bad at all. Because here's what they're running off on the legislation. If you post something that an ordinary, reasonable person in the position of an Australian...
Yeah, this is bad. I will give you this. This is bad. The broad terminology is just as bad as the Patriot Act or any other kind of bullshit where the concept of an ordinary and reasonable person is, again, I think that if you were targeting people who, again, this goes back to the hate crime bill, you're targeting people based on racially vilification, people who are trans, people who are non-binary. You're going after people, and this again, just a reminder, this motherfucker's going after feminists, cyclists, vegans, the hard targets, Muslims who were killed in a terrorist attack, real hard targets, that he could get taken off the internet. Maybe, just maybe, think about it for a second then. Maybe an ordinary, reasonable person wouldn't make jokes about Muslims who were murdered by an alt-right terrorist. Just maybe.
An adult would regard the material as being, in all circumstances, menacing, harassing, makes sense, right, so far, or offensive. So does that...
Oh, it's the offensive part he doesn't. Nah, but fuck cyclists though.
Does that mean you could go to jail, or go to court, or be fined for an offensive joke? Should they not...
Well, my man, it depends on what the definition of a joke is, and how many people laugh at it, right? That is the definition of a joke. At the end of the day, it's who finds it funny, right? And you're a populist. You shouldn't have to worry about anything. You are somebody who has made the most basic jokes. I've seen your stand-up. I know the types of jokes that you go after. You, my friend, have nothing to worry about. This video is null and void.
Not be allowed to...
Machine, that's extremely funny, thank you.
To speak their mind and make offensive jokes? That means you could face fines, I could face fines, and we could all be in fucking trouble.
Just to clarify, also, in terms of the e-safety commissioner, and from what I understand of that bill, the very little I've read of it, someone has to make a complaint first. Somebody has to go ahead and say, hey, this dumb piece of shit tried to make a joke, it wasn't that funny, right? I think people have to care about what you say first, my dude.
Moreover, it means that we have now lost our ability to say whatever the fuck we want.
Again, this goes back to our original point that he also made, that we don't have freedom of speech. And again, I'm not saying, just to clarify, there are no heroes in this story. The person and the people who are in charge of the e-safety commission, you lost this war a long time ago. There have been multiple points in digital history you lost this. You lost this on 9/11, you lost this on the attacks in Iraq, you lost this on the London bombings, you lost this on the day Trump got elected into being a president. You lost this so many times. You lost this at the Lind Cafe siege. The one thing I will say, in any comedian's defense, is that we do use humor to deal with tragedy. And if your joke is out there to make people feel better about a situation, that maybe you should write something that's funny and for everyone. And I don't support this type of humor. It's what I call Fallon disease. You've got Fallon's disease, let's get checked out. There's no cure. But the thing is that I think that most of the time is that comedy that you are producing and writing and creating, most people would agree with you, outside of a Twitter bubble, is fine. And that in itself creates a whole other problem and a lack of empathy. But let me tell you a quick story. I, for a short time in my teens, was a 9/11 truther. This is 100% true. My parents can come. I made them watch a whole 9/11 conspiracy video while we were in Korea, when we were on holidays. And I believe that the Twin Towers were a planned demolition at the time. I don't anymore. And it wasn't until I think I was like 19 or 20 that I had a good friend sit me down and talk to me about it, or about why I thought it was a conspiracy, or why it was not. And he was a very loving friend, who I'm still friends with now, actually. Very, very good friend. They had a discussion with me about why they thought it happened, you know, what America had to gain, lose, etc. from the attacks, whatever. And I wasn't 100% convinced by the discussion. Like, I thought I was smart enough. I was like, I know what you're doing. You're trying to deprogram me. I can't be deprogrammed. I am woke enough now. I've taken the red pill. I am out of the matrix. I'm fucking Neo. No, it's not. But it was a whole situation where I really, at the end of the day, I lacked empathy. And I think about so often how myself and many other people who I love could have gone down that red-pilled sort of alt-right path. And it does take with time and humility to admit that you're wrong on some occasions. And the one thing my friend said to me is that I think you're a good person, and that at the end of the day, I think you want to do what's right, and you want to know the truth of the situation. And you don't have to believe me, and you don't have to believe the American government, and blah, 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 and stuff like that. The one thing I will suggest, and he's lucky because I was a huge documentary fan. Huge documentary. Was watch 9/11 by the Nuder brothers. Now, for those who don't know, the Nuder brothers were a pair of documentarians who were at Ground Zero when 9/11. The whole documentary is on YouTube, so you can watch it for free. Tori and I were watching it over the weekend. It is one of the most emotional and heartbreaking experiences you could ever watch. I would say as a human being. Not the best documentary ever. There's so many other documentaries I love, blah, blah, blah. But in terms of going from a conspiracy theorist to someone who's like, oh, I don't realize the damage I've caused in the pain, is that at the end of the day, conspiracy theorists want to believe a narrative that is ultimately clean cut, or that answers questions that they don't have the time or the empathy to solve. And it sucks. It absolutely fucking sucks. And I don't mean just for the thousands who died on that day, but I mean for people who are actually grieving, for people who are trying to recover and move on, people who were at Sandy Hook, people who were, you know, at God knows how many school shootings, university shootings, who were at the fucking mosque in New Zealand that got fucking shot by that alt-right piece of shit. That, and I know I'm preaching to the converted here. I know you're all wonderful, kind, empathetic people. Not because of the audience that I've curated or any of that bullshit, but just because I think that you're all good people and hope so. And I always do wish you the best. And I know I've acted out on this stream and I've said some horrible fucking shit in my time. I'm not a good person. I'm not even close to being a good person. There was a good place little checklist. I'm still my name is Erling, trying to make up for shit that I've done. And I'm not doing it through charity streams or being nice or helping people out. I'm just, at the end of the day, trying to undo a lot of bad I've done in my life. More than anything else. Someone who's used a lot of T slurs and F slurs, etc., etc. Now, I bring this around to Butterfield because I think this is a man who and I stated this before when I was live with Tom Tanuki, he wants to do good. There's a reason he says it's in the Middle East. The idea of being a good motherfucker. And Tom has also talked about this in a recent video about the white protagonist. That at the end of the day, this is a man that believes he's a good person no matter what he said. And I don't know. I don't want to say he's too far gone. We are going to get through the rest of this video. I do apologize. We have I promise you, if you stick around, we have a much, much lighter video to end this evening that you will absolutely love and cringe at and laugh a whole bunch. But I can tell you now that if Friendly Jordies went to jail for the defamation, which she does not deserve, I can't see Isaac on the other side of the bars trying to figure out a way to get him out. I could see him making content. I could see him making a video or two. But I think at the end of the day, I think that Isaac Butterfield is a populist first. Maybe a content creator second, then a comedian third. And I try not to get too sincere on this, and I've had a few. But I will say that Mr. Butterfield doesn't present an argument that is... And look, he's got 12 minutes to do it. I've been live for about an hour now speaking about this. But at no point does he bring up the sort of faceted side of these. It's a lot of sound bites. It's a lot of just trying to stitch together a range of opinions. And it's great that he's using sources more now. Like, he's trying to be a little bit like Jordies. It's like a nice little thing he's learned from Friendly Jordies. But it's the lack of nuance. And it's also the lack of jokes. I haven't heard a fucking joke in about it. Let's keep going.
Our freedom of speech has not only in Australia been wounded, it's had its...
That's some big comedy for you, everybody. Some big comedy, never forget.
fucking head chopped off, and no prick in the media has talked about it. You may recall this video that I made about
It's not entirely true. A lot of people in the media have talked about it.
Eshays. It was taken down by a legal complaint to YouTube. Now, I reached out to YouTube and I said, why was this taken down? They said, we can't give you any more details. It's currently a legal issue. So I did some digging myself and I found a comment section. This was around the same time Byron Bay was whinging about me coming in there to do a show, which we sold out and it was a great show. Anyway, who gives a shit, right? There was a comment section where a lady was complaining that I had used a photo of her son dressed as an Eshe. Now, this was a young fella, all right? And he was quite upset about it. Rather than just messaging me and say, hey, this is an issue, can you blur him out of the video or whatever, which I would have done immediately. And I had no idea how young he was. It was on fucking Google Images.
That's a terrible reason. That's an awful reason. Yeah. This person did the right thing in this context. Is that, yeah, if you're using a child's image, don't use their face, dude. Don't. What the fuck? What? Hold on a second. Sorry, hang on. Did I miss something here? So you did a dumb fucking video about Eshes. Has helped parents keep a watchful eye over the Sons of Publishing Guide on how to spot the early sons of Eshe live. Yeah. This far-right Isaac Butterfield is doing a show the Byron community is on. All true. All things. All of these things, he is okay. He used images of a 7-year-old in an Eshe video, totally violating his privacy with references to massive drugs. A child cried he was so ashamed that he could end up on YouTube 100% dishonestly. He's a funny comedian, but did not find his portrayal of his son one bit amusing. So they're a fan of yours and they still fucking... Damn, dude. Your whole audience are cops, man. Like... you got ratted out by your own audience, man.
Dressed as an Eshe. Now, this was a young fella, all right? And he was quite upset about it. Rather than just messaging me and say, hey, this...
I guarantee you they did message him, but it's in like the general, like it's in, because when you have a Facebook page, because I mean this is just from experience because I've helped people out who have big followings. When you have a Facebook page or an Instagram account, they break up your fucking messages into like general, like, fans, right, in general, and then, like, requests, and then, like, other people, right? I guarantee you they messaged him, and he had no idea and just didn't respond.
This is an issue, can you blur him out of the video or whatever, which I would have done immediately, and I had no idea how young he was. It was on fucking Google Images. She was
terrible. I can't believe that. I can't believe he's using, I mean, I don't think that's a joke. I think that's a genuine defense he wants to use. You should report that to the E-Safety Commissioner. It's illegal for starters to use, what's a starter? Without the permission of parents, fact, but if the child's image has been used in a way that's hateful or racist, then it is a bigger illegality. Okay, there's a few. I'm not gonna. Look, my fucking grammar and punctuation's all over the place. I'm not gonna make fun of that. I'll have a look at it. He was super upset, and he started as a joke.
I was given the advice to go to the E-Safety Commissioner. Now, I don't know if that happened. I'm just hypothesizing. But then, almost 2 weeks later, it was taken down for no reason. Once again.
Hold on a sec. So, I mean, I was gonna say that, like, there's a lot of Eshe video on YouTube, and obviously I do believe him. Yeah, obviously.
And if they just emailed me, I would have fucking changed it myself. And I'm sorry if I caused this young fella any harm.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. How is it 7? Okay, hold on. Let's get into trouble, everybody. Let's do this. Like, this kid, maybe? I mean, this is for like a SoundCloud mix. What is that? Day Say Eshe mix? Oh, it's like a... Not my type of music, thank you. I'm assuming this is the image, which, again, I don't know. Or possibly this. This is way more likely. This is... Wait a second.
Can't ask me how I sleep at night. I say like a baby.
Sorry about that.
Sitting at the back, can't probably do.
I'm assuming... Yeah, it's... Okay. That's probably why it's so high up. It's definitely one of those few images. And, I mean... Look, I have a feeling that there's a bit of the story that maybe somebody uploaded a video of him, and not that that makes it right. That's not that that makes it right in the first place, but okay, let's hear Mr. Butterfield out. They took down my video!
Or anything like that.
But video's not capitalized.
That's not what I'm here for. That video.
I had a video fucking taken down by Channel 9 because I made fun of fucking, what's that fucking Married at First Sight. You know how fucking shitty that is? Knowing that fucking Friendly Jordies can have like 6-minute fucking takedowns of the fucking show Married at First Sight, but I make a joke about the trailer where I pretend to be the fucking director, actually try to remix it, actually try to make it fucking funny, and not just like talk over it like these fucking reaction fucking dudes do. And I still fucking hate Channel 9 for that. I'm so glad I don't fucking work for them. Everybody works there's a fucking prick anyway.
The video was taken down because of one person complaining. Anyone could have anything taken.
To be fair, I report every single one of my
down under the
might have been just more than one person.
Guys,
that's not true. I don't. I'm not that petty.
Fence, and that is dangerous. Have a look at this article. This is from the ABC. Australians subjected to vile online abuse and harassment will have greater protections from trolls if new powers pass the federal.
If new powers are passing, and at no point at 9 minutes into this 12-minute video have at any point you said, or at least asked, or at least implored your fucking hundreds of thousands of viewers to write to a person in power. No mention of politicians, no mention of whether or not you should reach out to them, how to reach out to them, how to send them an email, how to call them, what you can actually fucking do in politics. Because you don't give a fuck about that. You give a fuck about your views and your fucking little YouTube chummy cunts. That's all you care about. That is genuinely the only reason you fucking made this video. Because you're worried that you're going to be next. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm saying that there is a selfishness, that there is, a complete lack of empathy, other than, just a few little close mates. You couldn't give a goddamn fuck about the different types of people in the LGBTQIA community, people in the Muslim community, any other motherfucker who got their video taken down. Fucking simple people like Adam Plays, he made one fucking joke about 9/11 in a fucking video, whole channel got taken down last week. Couldn't give a fucking rat's ass. And Adam's a fucking legend. YMS has been a fucking YouTube channel I've watched for nearly a decade now. I've learned so much shit from that dude. Not a fucking peep. Because this is about you and your mates.
Federal Parliament this evening. It's nice in theory, but jokes, if you make jokes about people...
Yeah, jokes are funny in theory, dude, until you fucking do them in front of an audience.
That is in effect trolling, is making fun.
Not all jokes are trolling. Not all what a fucking leap in logic, you dolt. You cringe-filled fucking profiterole. What in God's name, do you think all jokes are just trolling? Do you think that fucking Blazing Saddles is just a good old troll on fucking black people? What the fuck is wrong with you? What in the sweet fuck are you talking about?
But jokes, if you make jokes about people, that is in effect trolling.
No! That's not how it works, man. That's not how it works. Trolling, yes, you can troll someone and you can make jokes, right? But fuck me dead, dude. And 4 different times this week alone, I watched a whole bunch of people get dunked on Twitter. Whole bunch of people. Some fucking dumb idiot trying to pretend that masks are dirty and they don't fucking do anything. Some fuckhead who, what was it? It was like a trifecta of people getting ratioed. I don't remember the other 2. Fuck, I wish I shouldn't have drunk before the stream. If the basis of your argument comes down to we can't even bloody joke about, you're full of shit. You're full of goddamn bullshit. It's because, and again, I made a whole fucking video about this, it's just not that funny anymore. We had a century. We had a full 100 years of the types of bullshit jokes that you're doing. And yet, there's still an audience for it. In the same way that there were dinosaurs, now there's dinosaur bones, man. There are remnants. There are fossils. They're fucking relics. They are the little bits and pieces of the past that you hold on tightly to. Because you are you're an example of their existence rather than an evolution. You're not saying anything new. You're not bringing... And not every comedian should do this. But you're not pushing the medium forward. You're not actually pushing the envelope forward. You are saying and doing the same dumb bullshit. Let me show... Hang on. Fuck it. This is the exact thing that I point to. And I'm sorry I'm using my own video for this. I'm genuinely sorry. Just because I'm too lazy to actually look up the actual part of it. Here it is. Here it is. When people say we can't make jokes anymore, like about certain races and shit, this is the type of shit. This is the type of shit that they're fucking talking about. All right? I'm so sorry. This is from a fantastic, and I genuinely mean this, fantastic compilation called Comedy Relief Zero by the wonderful people that Everything Is Terrible. They're a fucking great group of people. Highly suggested. Bought it for like, I think $7 about 6 years ago. I've watched it with so many people and we've cringed so hard. I might show it on stream sometime. I don't know the legalities of it, but fuck it. Here, when somebody says, oh, you can't even joke about this anymore, this is the kind of shit that they're talking about.
Hello. Hello. How do you do? Hello.
You can't make a business deal with them because you can't look them in the eye.
Koreans from Seoul, Korea. Orientals. I used to call them Chinamen. I saw this Oriental couple in the airport.
A race of very short people.
From here down. Pee-pee the size of an egg roll. 2.5 inches. 3 inches. 3 inches. 3 inches. You take pictures. Another English? Another new one. Another new one. You got girlfriend? You pick up shoes. Ah, yeah, that's it. Number 10.
You like us a compound chicken?
You need 2 shirts. I want to now walk out there. Oh, you don't need them, Mom. So sue me. Ching, chong, chong. Oh, Ping Hao. I want to know.
I think I made my fucking point, right? when people talk about, oh, we can't joke about this shit anymore, it's fucking hack, dude. You're a fucking hack. If you can't come up with new good material, that's on you. That's on you.
Making fun of someone's appearance or their ideology or their religion grounds for a crime?
I don't think it's grounds for a crime, but it's grounds for being a shitty comedian.
Surely not. And it is with statements like this that gets people behind their movement. With the surge of abuse being directed at women, with up to 70% of the reports of abuse being from women, the way that online...
Wait, what does it say from women? Oh, was that his joke? Was that a joke? Was that a joke there?
Grounds for a crime? Surely not. And it is with statements like this that gets people behind their movement. With the surge of abuse being directed at women, who make up 70% of the reports of women, with up to 70% of the reports of abuse being from women.
Yeah, that was a joke.
The way that online harassment, gendered violence really manifests towards women is very different than it's directed towards men, E-Safety Commissioner Julie Imran Grant said. This is how they get people behind them. They say something obvious that we all agree with.
Motherfucker, that's what you do! Motherfucker, you're a popular... What the fuck do you think you do?
Julie Imran Grant said. This is how they get people behind them. They say something obvious that we all agree with, that you shouldn't be violent towards women or you shouldn't attack women, all that type of stuff. And then they sneak in these other little sneaky fucking moves when you're not looking.
Yeah, dude, that's politics, man. This is why you should deploy your audience to... Again, you could, in a kind, sincere, and proper manner, draft up an email, put it on Pastebin, get your audience to copy and paste that into a Gmail or what Yahoo Mail. I don't know what the fuck your audience uses. Probably Proton. I hope Proton Mail, my man. Send it to the E-Safety Commissioner saying, "Dear Julie Inman Grant, I have these, and these problems." Don't make a fucking 12-minute video about it, my man, where you get to fucking jerk yourself. They took down my video! What? They took down my video!
The same thing happened with Erin Molan, a football commentator here in Australia. And this is when I first heard about this whole thing last year. The hordes of death threats, threats of physical violence, threats to rape my daughter that have been sent to me, written about me, have taken me to an incredibly dark and scary place in the past. I am strong, I am resilient. And these things should never happen. You should not abuse people online, right? I know this for absolute fact that it happens all the time. Remember the Christchurch massacre joke that I told? People got mad at that. And you know how you get message requests on Instagram? I had 80,000 message requests, all telling me to kill myself, that I...
Oh, sorry, take it back. You notice what message requests are?
They were gonna drown my dogs, they were gonna attack me in a park, all this shit, threatening to rape my unborn daughter. Fucking insane shit.
Oh, because these people did it to me, then also it is bad. Yeah, dude. People... I don't know what... Do you want people to have free speech, or do you not? Which one is it, dude? Because you had the free speech to say that shitty joke that a lot of people did not find funny when shown to a wider audience, not just your own. I think that's a whole other thing. He does, again, fucking status quo warriors. SQWs. These fucking dudes are fucking SQWs.
And people who send that shit should be punished for it. You should be fucking charged with harassment. But it's the stuff that they sneak in behind those things.
Sorry, what did you say? They sneak in, but what did you say?
Send that shit should be punished for it. You should be fucking charged with harassment. But it's the stuff that they sneak in behind.
I think he was meant to say sneak, but he said sneak in. Didn't want to do another. Didn't want to do another take, buddy. Didn't want to. You thought sneaky? Didn't want to sneaky behind?
With harassment, but it's the stuff that they sneak in behind.
Can't keep that sneak in. That's the worst part, is when they sneak in stuff. You know the time. You know when you're a kid, when you're a kid growing up and you used to sneak in the movies, when you used to sneak in, get into the back row of church with your family because you turned up late. Man, I hate when sneak in stuff. Man, that's crazy.
find those things where the real problem lies. It's not just a problem, it is damaging. Everyone is affected by the attack on freedom of speech. The online safety bill.
Yeah, but not everybody's affected by the attack on a bunch of Muslims that you joked about, so who gives a fuck about them, right?
The media bargaining code, all of these things in Australia, they are all done because the mainstream, the status quo, all of that is
which you're propping up right now.
being challenged. They now don't have control.
To say that they do have control. They do have, oh man, I don't want to take the time to go into like a history lesson in politics or media codes and just how fucked things are from both a left and right perspective. They have so much control, dude. They can't be the status quo and not have control. They're just, yeah, the empire.
Over people like me or other people with a loud voice online. And therefore, they are freaking out. And it's almost like...
They're freaking out because they don't have enough money, dude. It's a money issue. This is all down to money. This is like not the e-safety bill. That's concerned parents, which I don't want to get into, but I think that there are a lot of problems with that. Again, no heroes. No heroes here. No heroes.
Like that these politicians...
This motherfucker doesn't understand. Like, he goes like, the Murdoch press! But it's like, you don't understand that it's beyond the Murdoch press. It's also the press that Gina Reinhardt controls. It's also editorial decisions. Also the fact that Ida Buttrose fucking runs the ABC. It's also the fact that when you start firing editorial, like people who write, people who are editors, people who are proofreaders, people who are actually trying to make the news a lot better, that things get fucked up, right?
who push these laws through, they almost act like they have favors to give to the media. It's almost like they owe them something. Surely that couldn't be the case. An informed public and a public that thinks for themselves is the most dangerous thing of all. Having our thoughts molded for us is a disastrous symptom of a tyrannical government that decides what you...
I've said this before. I don't think the Morrison government or the LNP government for the last 10 years they've been in power, 7 years they've been in power, I don't think they're tyrannical. I think ultimately they're weak authoritarians. They're authoritarians in that they love having their power, but they don't want anything to change. They're weak authoritarians because they simply want to uphold the status quo and continue to push their ideologies until it's inconvenient for them. Until even the status quo, even the main people who were trying to support you are either dying out or they are simply too tired of your bullshit. So, yeah. Why don't I support centrists? I don't support people who are, well, I'm politically liberal, but I'm financially conservative. I'm like, well, I don't know how to tell you, but being financially conservative means that you're bad with your fucking money. That's what it means. That's what it means. It means that you probably have a lot of tax debt and you wouldn't know how to invest shit properly, especially in a market that is slowly dying. And more people are employed by tourism and the arts than, say, gas and coal. Maybe that. Don't get me started on how shit labor is as well. And I'm not saying like, oh, the Greens do everything perfect. I'm saying that Liberal and Labour, in terms of the differences between them, that under a Labour government, we still would not be better where we are right now. There needs to be a Greens and Labour coalition, because that is the only way that's the only way Labour gets shit done. If you want to learn more about that, find out why, for a very short time, for a very wonderful time in history, we actually had people paying for environmental... Pixie, that's okay. We're only going to go for another 20 minutes anyway. Do enjoy the rest of the VOD in the morning. We're at the end of this video anyway. Thank you so much for hanging around, Pixie. I really appreciate it. Love Pixie. Love Pixie. Check out their channel. Really good streamer. Shout out to Caroline. We love Gran Turismo. Ooh, Gran Turismo, Clone Hero. Pixie's beating my ass at so many good Jackbox games. Same thing with Grass. Anyway, let's finish this.
And I don't believe that's what we have right now, but Tyrannical governments always have a starting point. Could this be ours? Probably not. But it might
Hey, Pixie, we still love you. That's the main thing that we're doing.
well be. Think freely, speak
Accept our love. No, I'm
freely,
kidding.
and don't fucking dare give up on your freedom of speech. Ladies and gentlemen, be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Me dick stings. To au revoir. Bye-bye.
The worst outro. You couldn't pay me to do that
Speech.
outro.
Ladies and gentlemen, be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Me dick stings. To au revoir. Bye-bye.
What does to love wa mean?
Hit it, boys.
Oh yeah, this is the tour he's doing right now. Yeah. I guess. Anyway, that was that bullshit. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you all had to sit through that. I'm so sorry. What a shit house video. What an absolutely fucking awful video. Which is so terrible. Oh, Red, you don't even know. He loves that shit. He soaks in that shit like it's fucking, like he's basting in a marinara. He loves the Joker, but he also loves Batman. It's really confusing. It's so confusing. We are going to end on something that is 10 times lighter. Holy shit. This is something I've seen everybody talk about this week. The second I saw it, do we want to show Red? Red, if you give one bit right now, I'm going to show you the worst comedy trailer of all time. Holy shit, Red is pulling some punches tonight. That is fucking crazy. I want to thank everybody for hanging out this evening. Let's fix this. That's better. If somebody wants to donate that bit on Red's behalf, we'll happily go through that trailer again. But this other video, again, just one bit. I'm kidding. Please don't. You don't have to do it. But yeah, to end the night off, to end the week off, been a rough week. I'm in lockdown. A whole bunch of people around the country are in lockdown right now in Australia. It's not. I'm the opposite of a jail boss because I take no prisoners. Killing me here, Red. Fucking, you're Harley Quinning it up. Bloody hell. Alright, I just got a sober. What a bit, so.